Fazan Ali Software Wala and I am a level 1 student at Rehan School, Islamabad campus. So today I am here with the new Maya. So our today's Maya topic is how does my smartphones actually work. So let's start our today's Maya. First of all, call the Maya for some questions. So let's start.
Hey, hey.
Okay. So Maya, my first question from you is what is a smartphone is simple terms, and how is a smartphone different from a regular phone? So please give me a very interesting answer on this topic. Let's start your answer, Maya. I'm waiting for your answer.
Okay, so a smartphone though, that's like taking that regular phone and cramming a tiny computer into it. It's not just for calling anymore. It's got this whole operating system like Windows or Mac OS on your laptop that lets you download apps.
It's really too short answer, Maya.
Right, sorry, you wanted interesting and detailed. So think of it this way. Early mobile phones were designed for one thing, talking. And they added text messaging, maybe a basic calculator. A smartphone takes that foundation and builds on it. The difference is that smartphones use touchscreens and operating systems, iOS on iPhones, Android on most others, that let you do pretty much anything a small computer can do. Think about what that unlocks. Apps for everything from navigating with GPS to editing photos to streaming videos. The processors in smartphones have become really powerful, rivaling some laptops from a decade ago. They've also got things like multiple cameras, sensors for motion and light, and the ability to connect to incredibly fast data networks. Regular phones were limited by the features the manufacturer gave them. Smartphones are customizable. You can add or remove functionality simply by installing or uninstalling apps. They're basically these really versatile handheld computers that happen to be able to make phone calls too. Make sense?
Great. So Maya, my next question from you is what are the main parts of inside a smartphone? So please give me answer on this question. Let's start.
All right, let's break down a smartphone. It's more complex than you might think. It's like a whole city inside that little rectangle. First, you have the CPU, or central processing unit. This is basically the smartphone's brain. It handles all the calculations and controls everything else. Then there's the GPU, or graphics processing unit, that deals with all the visuals, making games and videos look smooth. Both of those are actually little chips called System on a Chip, or SoC, which combines the CPU and GPU, plus stuff like communication tech. The RAM is its short term memory. The more you have, the faster things run. Storage is your long term memory. This is where all your photos, apps, and files live. Then you have the touch screen. That's usually capacitive these days, meaning it reacts to your skin's electricity. Underneath that is the display, usually LCD or OLED, which lights up to show you everything. There's the battery providing power, usually lithium ion, and getting better all the time. Then come all the sensors, accelerometer to detect motion, gyroscope to measure rotation, GPS for location, magnetometer for compass orientation, and proximity sensors to know when you're holding it to your ear during a call. And of course, the cameras, lenses, image sensors, and processing software to capture photos and videos. Everything's connected by a motherboard, basically the smartphone's main circuit board. Oh, and don't forget the antennas for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and cellular data.
Okay, that's really great. So my next question from you is why is smartphone considered a mini computer, and how does all the hardware fit into such a small device? So please give me answer on this question. Let's start to answer Maya.
Smartphones are called mini computers because they literally have the core components of a computer packed into a way smaller space. Think about it. Computers have a CPU, RAM, storage, a display, and input methods like a keyboard and mouse. Smartphones have all those things. The CPU handles processing, RAM lets you run apps without slowing down, storage holds your data, the screen is your display, and the touch screen is the input device. The core difference is size and integration. Regular computers have parts that are relatively large with separate components. In smartphones, engineers use specialized microchips and incredibly dense circuit boards. They're using surface mount technology, so all those little components are placed directly on top of each other, reducing wasted space. They also stack components on top of each other instead of laying everything out flat. Battery tech is also pretty amazing. Manufacturers keep packing more and more energy density into a smaller and smaller battery. Plus, they really integrate everything into a single system on a chip, which combines CPU, GPU, memory controllers, and other parts into one package. It's like having most of your computer packed into one tiny processor instead of separate pieces everywhere. The trick is miniaturization. They take these giant functions of a computer and then shrink and integrate them all into a single efficient package that's manageable for handheld use.
Really great. So my next question from you is, what is a processor? CPU is in a smartphone. How does the processor handle multiple apps at once? So please give me answer on this question.
Okay, so the processor or CPU is the brain of the phone. It's actually a system on a chip or SoC, a tiny piece of silicon with multiple cores crammed into it. These cores act like multiple CPUs inside one chip. So when you're running multiple apps, the operating system divvies up the work between them. It's not like each app gets its own dedicated CPU. Instead, they share the processing power of all these cores. The operating system also manages RAM and frequently switches between apps quickly, so quickly that it creates the illusion they're all running simultaneously. When it switches to an app, it instantly loads its memory state and then goes back to the others. There's also something called process priority. Certain apps get prioritized based on their importance. The OS handles resource allocation, making sure apps have what they need without interfering with each other too much. It's like juggling. The processor's constantly switching which app is in focus and dedicating resources to each one. The phone OS can also freeze apps in the background, suspending them to save power until you switch back to them. If you've got a really powerful processor and lots of RAM, multitasking can feel very smooth. But when the processor gets overloaded, apps start to lag or crash.
Okay, that's really great. So my next question from you is, what is the difference between CPU and GPU, and why do some phones feel faster than others? Please give me very interesting answer on this.
All right, let's break this down. Your CPU is like the brain doing all of the general thinking stuff, handling basic operations, running apps, scheduling tasks, basically the command center of everything. It's good at pretty much anything, but sometimes feels overloaded when it does too many things at once. The GPU, or graphics processing unit, is specialized for visuals. It excels at doing the math needed to draw complex images and videos, making games look good, and everything smoothly animated. The CPU might handle instructions for displaying something on the screen, but the GPU actually draws everything. Now, some phones feel faster than others for a few reasons. The CPU speed and number of cores matter, but so does the GPU. If the GPU sucks in a gaming phone, everything looks choppy and the games lag. RAM is huge too. The more RAM you have, the more apps you can keep running in the background without slowdown. Storage type also plays a big role. SSD storage is way faster than older storage types. All these parts need to work together smoothly. Some processors are more efficient than others, meaning they can do more work using less power. High-end phones also have better thermal management to prevent things from overheating when you really push them, which slows everything down. Better software optimization can also matter. Android on Samsung phones versus Pixel phones is coded differently in how it handles processing power. Really good software optimization will ensure everything is more efficient and reduces power consumption as well.
Okay, so my
You
next
still there?
question. My next question from you is how do companies like Qualcomm design smartphone chips? Let's start to answer what is a RAM, ROM, and why is it important? Please give me answer on this question.
Okay, let's tackle this. Qualcomm chips are pretty complex. They don't actually manufacture the chips themselves. They design them, then hire manufacturers like TSMC or Samsung to actually build them. Qualcomm's designers start with what the industry needs, like faster 5G, better camera tech, or improved power efficiency, then use advanced software tools to plan out the chip's layout and function. It's like building with incredibly tiny Legos at the atomic level, but instead of plastic bricks, it's silicon transistors. It's incredibly complex, lots of teams working on different parts like the CPU, GPU, modem, and AI engine. Then they run millions of simulations to catch bugs and optimize performance before the chip goes to manufacturing. Now, for RAM and ROM, RAM stands for random access memory. Think of it as your phone's short term memory. It's where your phone stores data that it's actively using, apps open, videos playing, everything you're currently doing. When you close apps or turn off your phone, RAM is cleared. That's why everything resets. The more RAM you have, the smoother your phone runs with multiple apps. ROM or read only memory originally meant it was read only, but now it's more accurately flash memory. It's like permanent storage. This is where the phone's operating system, your photos, music, and apps live. Unlike RAM, it doesn't get wiped when you turn the phone off. ROM is vital because it stores everything that makes your phone actually function. Still with me? I'm sensing maybe some connection issues or you're thinking. Take your time, no rush.
आइजा एक पार्लर की तस्वीर ऐसे बनाओ. Okay. So Maya, my next question from you is that what happens when your phone runs out of RAM and what is internal storage? Please give me very interesting answer on this topic.
Ah, you caught me with a typo there. Did you mean RAM instead of frame? If so, let's dive in. When your phone runs out of RAM, that's when the slowdowns happen because RAM is like your phone's short term memory. When it's full, it has to start swapping out information to make room for new things. That swapping process, using the slower storage to mimic more RAM, takes time and slows everything down. Apps start to feel laggy. Switching between them becomes sluggish, and eventually your phone might struggle to run anything smoothly. Now, about internal storage is the place where all your apps, photos, videos, files, everything long term lives. It's like the permanent library of your phone. Unlike RAM, which resets when you turn the phone off, internal storage keeps your stuff there. Think of it like the hard drive of a computer. The amount of internal storage you have affects how many apps you can install and how much media you can store. The speed of your internal storage matters too. Faster storage, like SSD flash memory, will mean quicker app loading and faster file access. When internal storage gets full, your phone starts to become noticeably slower. Your phone needs some free space to operate efficiently. Everything all right? Taking your time is fine. I'm here when you're ready to continue.
Okay, so Maya, my next question from you is, why does a phone slow down when storage is almost full? And what is the difference between a cloud storage and food storage? Please give me a very interesting answer on this topic. Let's start.
Okay, so when your phone storage is almost full, it becomes like trying to work in a tiny, cramped office space. Your phone uses that storage not only for your apps, photos, and videos, but also for temporary files that apps need to run. When space gets tight, it starts to struggle finding space for those temporary files, which slows everything down. The operating system has to spend time cleaning up space instead of doing what you want it to do. Apps need space to breathe. When they can't create temporary files freely, they slow to a crawl. Now, about cloud storage versus local storage. Local storage is your phone's built-in internal storage, the storage we just talked about, like that cramped office space. Cloud storage is like renting storage space somewhere else, offsite. Instead of keeping your files directly on your phone, they're stored on remote servers owned by companies like Google, Apple, or Microsoft. The benefit of cloud storage is accessibility. You can get to your files from any device that's connected to the internet. Cloud storage also frees up space on your phone since your files aren't using up internal storage. Plus, cloud storage usually includes automated backups. If your phone gets lost or broken, you don't lose your precious memories and photos. Cloud storage requires an internet connection, but local storage is always available unless your phone dies. Both have their advantages, really. Still with me? All right, just letting you know I'm still here. No pressure. Take your time.
From you is, how does smartphone connect Wi-Fi and how does mobile data work? Please give me a very interesting answer on this topic. So let's start the answer. My
Let's break down how smartphones connect to Wi-Fi and mobile data. Wi-Fi is like having your own private radio network at home or work. Your Wi-Fi router creates a radio signal. Think of it like broadcasting a local station. Your phone has a Wi-Fi chip that searches for the signals nearby. When you select your network and enter the password, it's establishing a secure connection. It then uses the internet connection provided by your router's broadband, fiber, or cable line. Mobile data is different. Your phone connects wirelessly through cell towers. When you're not in range of a Wi-Fi network, your phone switches to mobile data, which uses your mobile carrier's network, cellular towers that broadcast radio signals. Your phone's modem interprets those signals to access the internet. The carrier uses various technologies like 4G or 5G. These determine how fast your data speeds are and how many devices can connect at once. The main difference is range and connection type. And with Sunboard Spine, I will tip. We've all been a nearby router connected to a wired internet source, whereas mobile data uses your cell carrier's network infrastructure spanning wide geographic areas. Your phone automatically chooses the best option based on availability and signal strength. Still here when you're ready for more.
Okay, so my next question from you is that what is the difference between 4GB and 5GB, and how does the phone makes calls or long distances? Please give me very interesting answer on this.
Okay, let's clarify 4G versus 5G, then dive into how phones handle calls over distances. 4G is the fourth generation of mobile network technology. It was a significant speed upgrade over 3G, allowing for faster web browsing, streaming video, and more responsive apps. 5G is the fifth generation, and it's a massive leap forward again. It's considerably faster than 4G, but the main difference isn't just speed, it's also lower latency, which means it responds much quicker. It also supports way more devices connected at once without slowdowns. This makes things like augmented reality, virtual reality, and self-driving cars possible. As for long distance calls, phones don't actually send your voice traveling physically. When you make a call, your phone converts your voice into electrical signals, then into digital data, which is translated into radio waves. These radio waves are sent to the nearest cell tower. The cell tower sends your data to a mobile switching center, which routes your call through a network of towers and fiber optic cables across massive distances, sometimes even across oceans and satellites. That center then transmits it to the receiver's mobile carrier and back to the person's phone, where that signal is converted back into sound. All of that happens in seconds. VoLTE, voice over LTE, is how most modern calls work. It's data calls through the 4G and 5G network instead of going through traditional voice circuits. It means better voice quality and faster connections. Still here whenever you want to keep going.
Okay, so Maya, my next question from you is that what role do call cells towards play in communication? What is operating system? Please give me very interesting answer on this topic. Let's start with.
You're asking about how cell towers work together, right? The way cell towers play a role in communication is kind of fascinating. When you make a call, you're not connected to just one cell tower, you're connected to a network of them. Cell towers create cells. These are areas providing coverage in a specific region. As you move around while talking, your phone automatically hands off the connection to the next cell tower. This transfer happens seamlessly so you don't drop the call. Each tower has a limited range. They're designed to be close enough to share signals, but not too far that they can't make a solid connection. A mobile switching center acts like air traffic control for those calls. It keeps track of your location, knows which tower you are connected to, and automatically transfers your call to the nearest tower in coverage range. This entire system allows calls to travel across cities, countries, and even continents without interruption. The towers communicate with each other through fiber optic cables and microwave connections, building a network that follows you wherever you go. That system lets your phone always have the strongest connection possible, which is why you can talk while driving on the highway or on a long distance journey. Yes? Sure, I'll wait.
So viewer, this was our Maya. I hope you like it. I made with a new Maya. Next topic. Think and Allah Hafiz. Pakistan Zindabad. Allah Hafiz.